Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are into Love Island series 11. We are now on episode 34. 34. Oh yeah, it was a bit of a episode. So we know that Jess, Hugo and Blade and Emma have left. And all I'm going to say is, let's just say Jessie is one of those women who will call carnage, bruv. She will cause carnage, bruv. Anyway, before we get into this episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1K. Okay, so let's get into this episode, shall we? So, all I'm going to say is Ao needs to humble himself fully. Like, seriously humble himself fully, because none of them have control of this situation. Yeah? They ain't seen what we're seeing at the end of the day. So, Nicole and Mimi are fully feeling it because of the exit of Jess. Because don't forget, Jess was one of the OGs as well. So, they've gotten to know each other over the coming months. So it's kind of like a struggle for them, because one night you had Uma and then the next night Jess has gone. So basically what these people really need to think about is that, you know what, your place in this villa is not guaranteed. It is absolutely not guaranteed at the end of the day. And they don't know what the hell we're watching. They don't know what the hell's been put out to us for us to make the decisions that we make in regards to these people and where their standing is. Because we cannot forget that on the flip side, yeah, they're in there trying to win £50,000. Okay, it's all to play for at the end of the day. So Ao basically says that he's reeling. He said he was shocked that he was that close to leaving. Jessica was trying to help him to feel better, and she was asked, what would you do if I wasn't here? And he said, jump in the fire pit. And I was like, my girl, he would forget you the next day and be trying to pull Mimi back. Do you know what I mean? He'll be trying to get sympathy out of Mimi. Let's put it that way. He would literally try and put his all back into Mimi if Jessica had to leave that night. Because Ao would not have been the one, or at the stage, to say, I'm leaving with her. He definitely would not be one of those people. So, Ao is shell-shocked, but believes that he needed that basically to, I don't know, to bolster himself up, to give him a little bit more confidence. So Grace and Jessie go in and check on Jessica, and basically she was not shocked by the vote, but she probably needs to know that, you know what, my girl, it was not a reflection upon her. It was more so a reflection upon Ao and the bullshit that he's caused towards Mimi as to why they would literally be in the bottom, because we just wouldn't vote Ao our fave boy at the end of the day. And the reason why Jessica probably got lesser votes in terms of fave girl is because don't really know her, to be fair. She's literally just rocked up in the villa, to be honest with you. But we know who Mimi is. We know who Nicole is. We know who Ciaran is. And even though because Ruben and Josh were exempt because they were the new lads in it, and even though Joey and Jessie weren't up there, doesn't necessarily mean that they were above anybody else when it came to being favourites. But Joey may have well seen it as, well, if I was sat here with Grace, I probably would have been standing up there next to Ao, do you know what I mean? But I'm sat here with Jessie, so obviously me and Jessie are doing something right. Because I think Joey thinks in doing what he did with Catherine Moore is probably putting him in a bit of a better standing. He needed to calm himself because of the situation that already played out with Grace. He didn't literally want to jump from the frying pan straight into the fire again. So that's where I'm saying it is with Joey at the end of the day. So basically Joe's having a chat with Ao, basically saying that he wanted Ao to stay. So Ao starts reading into like Mimi crying and all of this and yada yada yada, and all I'm saying is, don't forget, my guy, Jess was there too, and the night before she just lost her best friend who went with her man at the end of the day. So this is like an emotional roller coaster for Mimi. So he can't literally think that Mimi was just crying over him. I don't think she was fully crying over him, but she was crying over the fact that she really didn't want to see him go. So he can't really read into it, because basically Ao needs to leave Mimi alone, yeah, because all he wants to do is play with her and play with her emotions royally. And at the end of the day, Mimi to Ao is not wife material. To somebody else she will be, so he needs to leave her be, like seriously leave her be, and let her get on with it with Josh. So of course Joey starts gassing up Ao's head, and this is why I mean that these people need to just leave them alone. Like seriously, leave them alone. She has those feelings. Those feelings aren't going to be shut off straight away. She's not a freaking robot at the end of the day. But it's the way they keep talking about Mimi, like they know how she feels exactly to the point. And she's not. So Ao's sitting there basically saying that his feelings are right now with Jessica, and he's going to put his all in with Jessica and do what he needs to do there, basically, because he's basically trying to say that Mimi's not on that par at the moment in time, that he's not looking to get back with her and yada yada yada. But my man protests too much, and he's doing the mostest when it comes to Mimi, and where he's trying to read into Mimi's feelings, which I don't think he should do. What he needs to do is just concentrate on Jessica, yeah. Concentrate on Jessica. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to look at. Be looking over there. So leave Mimi here alone. Leave her alone. So basically Mimi says that she was worried about Ao, and Nicole asked her if she thinks there's any unfinished business. This bit had me worried, because Mimi went silent. She didn't say a word, and I was like, don't you dare, my God, don't you dare let this man back in. Like, he's done more than enough to you, yeah, and made you look like a dickhead across this Ross screen. She needs to leave it be and concentrate on Josh. That's what she needs to do. That is what she needs to do. So in bed, after they've all got ready for bed, you see Ciaran and Nicole having a discussion, and Ciaran like literally appears that he's at his insecure stage, and believing that Nicole doesn't love him as much as he loves her, basically. And she's saying, don't be stupid, of course I do. But he's saying that he can feel it. And I'm like, okay, so Ciaran is definitely in his insecure stage, his insecure bag at this moment in time. And he's needing now this reassurance from Nicole. I think the closer that it gets to this show ending and them coming out of the villa, the more insecurities you will see coming out of Ciaran, because he doesn't know how this situation is going to pan out and what's going to happen once they get on the outside and how it's all going to work. So it's all just, I think, coming in at one on Ciaran, and that's why he's feeling the way that he's feeling. He's feeling slightly discombobulated, and Nicole can, and again, as with Ciaran, Nicole can only do so much in order to reassure him, for him to understand that Nicole is exactly where he is and where he wants her to be at the end of the day. So everybody is up in their couples and they're getting up close and personal. And then I was like, hold on, why are Connor and Ruben sharing a bed? I mean, I don't really make no bones about them sharing a bed because it happens, but I was like, there's beds upstairs for the singles. And I just thought to myself, okay, then I must just want to join the others and be comfortable with the others in regards to not having to separate, because there's space now. Now that 4 people have left, there's space aplenty with the beds. So it gets to the daytime, and basically Josh is saying to Ruben that with Mimi, it's on another level. So basically Josh is feeling those feelings in regards to Mimi, and he wants to ensure that he's able to stabilize something to be able to take it out into the outside world and see how that grows between the both of them. So Ruben did ask if them to had kissed during the night. They did, but as Josh says, a gentleman never tells. And I was like, okay, so Josh appears to be fully into Mimi at the end of the day. And the reason why I say appears is because I haven't seen enough of him to know whether he's gonna do this girl over or do what AO did to her, fill her head full of guff and then decide to throw her over for somebody else. But you know what? We shall see. I am having hope. I am having hope and living in hope at this moment in time. All I hope is that AO stays concentrating on me, on Jessica, and leaves Mimi be at the end of the day. So Ruben goes and gives Grace her green tea, and Josh was talking to AO in the room. And I'm just like, Ruben, it seems as though may have his eye definitely on Grace, and I think Grace is going to open up and give him that chance as well. So Jessica is saying, talking to AO, and she's saying she's happy to be with AO, and now she's basically going to be attached to his hip from now on. AO was saying it's a bit too much, and I think AO is beginning to realise that as lovely as Jessica might be, she may be a stage 1 clinger at the moment, like a full-on stage 1 clinger at the moment. I don't think it will reach Jessie levels yet, because I think Jessie is a bit savage when it comes to how she clings to Joey and ensures that Joey ain't doing no bullshit in front of her or behind her back. Because when it comes to Jessie, she does give off this aura. She gives off an aura that she will bite a woman's face off. Like, seriously, she literally dead eyes in jealousy. That's all I can say. When she stares at Joey, especially if he's talking to another girl, my God, the look she gives. I was like, yeah, Joey better watch his back with that one, because she ain't come to play about him at all. So basically, AO does not sound convincing at all when he says to Jessica that things are sweet. And Jessica was basically saying to AO that she wants to know, she wants AO to say, I love you so much, that he's obsessed with her. And I'm like, my guy, my girl, he's not going to say that. He really is not going to say that. And then AO's kind of presenting himself like he's flatlined, like everything is just monotone with AO at the moment. There's no excitement, there's no upbeatness or anything when he's trying to talk to Jessica in this regard. And basically, he turned to Jessica and said, well, I want you to tell me that you're obsessed with me. So Jessica says that I'm obsessed with you, and I'm like, oh my God, girl, you've fallen down the trap of AO. Good luck getting out. That's all I'm gonna say, is good luck getting out. And it kind of looks like, to me, it kind of was looking that AO wasn't liking this type of chat, and it probably was making him take a little bit of a step back. It was either that or he continued to reel from the fact that he was so close to being kicked out of the villa. That's the only things I can attribute his attitude towards, because it wasn't giving warm, cuddly and I love you vibes to Jessica in the slightest. It was giving, I am quite worried, I need to take a step back kind of vibe. AO basically said it was cute, and I was with Jessica saying that she was obsessed with him, and I was like, it's not. When someone says that they're kind of obsessed with you, it's never cute, to be fair, never cute, because it comes with a whole host of issues. So I only can think and hope that Jessica was having just a playful banter with him, because I just hope she was not serious by what she was saying to him. So Nicole speaks to Mimi about last night and basically said that she didn't see it coming, and basically if AO did leave, Mimi said that she would be upset, which would be understandable. To me, that would be understandable, because at the end of the day, she's known this man from day dot. It doesn't mean I will read much into that, but I do think it's coming from the vein of, I've known this man from day dot. We coupled up together from when we first came in. I know a lot about him. Yes, he's done some shit to me, but yes, I'd still be upset if he left. I'm not going to read more into it than that. That's all I'm going to say. So Josh is talking to Jessie about Mimi, and basically what he wants to do is do something nice for Mimi, because she's gone through a lot in terms of losing Uma and then Jess and then the situation yesterday. So you see Ruben and Grace having a chat, and basically Ruben is saying that the conversation he had with Grace surprised him, the same way it surprised Joss at the end of the day, that, you know, this girl has a lot more going on behind the curtains. So as again, I would say that they flirted a lot more than Josh and Grace did. And basically she's talking about how she's going in, and basically when you strip it all back, it's like, do we have good chats, are we compatible? And she kind of realizes that with Joey it was just more lust and surface level, and Ruben does let her know that he's starting to get attracted to her at the end of the day. Grace tells him that he's beautiful, as she did with Joss, and she's enjoying to get to know him. But I'm like, is there attraction there for Ruben though? Or is it because there's nobody else really left for her to pick that Ruben is just the easy option? I don't know. So basically Grace is open to getting to know Ruben because she's enjoying his company at the end of the day. So Mimi is talking to Ayo while he's cooking his eggs. And they are being a little bit banterful with each other. All I hope is that she don't let this man twist up her head again. Like, seriously. You see Joey now saying to Josh about how he gets a good vibe from him and from Mimi. And I'm like, how is that so, Joey, when not so long ago you was telling Ayo that all that stuff about him and Mimi was there was something still there, and that he needed to do what was best for him at the end of the day. Joey needs to stop meddling for real. He needs to keep his nose out of other people's business. I know he ain't got nothing much more to do, especially when it comes to Jesse and yada yada yada, but when it comes to Ayo and Mimi, he needs to keep his nose out of that business, yeah, because he's just going to start fires where there don't need to be fires. So Josh is basically telling Joey about it's so far so good between him and Mimi. And you see Mimi does tell Ayo about, you know, the fact that she did have a tear in her eye for him when he stood up there. And she did say she was upset. And Ayo was kind of like, well, what kind of place is this? And Mimi said, it's the kind of place where you're living with your ex and your new girlfriend at the same time. Ayo was like laughing and don't say, stop saying stuff like that. And I'm like, well, it's true. It's true. And I'll be honest when I say I didn't really like that culmination of conversation between them two. I really didn't, because I'm really not rooting for Mimi to get back with Ayo in the slightest. So Mimi does say that it's nice that they're cool now. And then you see Mimi get up and leave, and Ciaran starts talking shit because Kieran's there now by saying to Ayo, I think you should go for it. No, he should not go for it, Ciaran. Don't start fires where there don't need to be any. Yeah, it's Jessica and Ayo and Mimi and Josh. Okay, that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be no Ayo and Mimi. So then Jessica walks up as Ayo passes her the eggs, and she turns around and she goes, oh, I love you so much, thank you. And Ciaran and Ayo go quiet when she says that. So Ciaran asks Jessica, have you been saying that? And Jessica goes, nope. I was like, my girl, you can't throw them words around the villa. You can't throw them I love yous around the villa willy-nilly. It's going to create a different type of picture. There's already a pressure can in there. And I think Jessica needs to get a better read on Ayo when she does that kind of stuff, because I swear down, he is literally looking like he's taking steps back because he isn't liking that type of banter in the slightest. So Josh ends up getting Ruben's help to make waffles for Mimi. So Ruben has to get Mimi away from the area. So basically Ruben then enlists the help of Matilda, tells him what Josh wants to do for her, and says, can you get her away from that area because it's a bit bait, because it's near the kitchen and he's making the stuff. So Matilda does what he asked for and moves them into the shade of the den. So that's when then, once everything's set up on the terrace, Ruben then goes and gets Mimi. Let's just put it this way, Ruben was in total character. Cloth over the arm and says, Madame, my darling Mimi, would you like to come with me? Come with me this way. And then takes her up. Mimi loved it. Absolutely loved it. And Mimi has never had anything like that. Not even in the villa did Ayo do anything like that to show like his interest to make things better for her when she was upset. He did nothing like that. So Mimi did. She loved it. So you see Sean and Ayo again talking, and they keep going on about Mimi. Ayo's basically saying it's tough around here, but he's saying that the way he feels is not lost on him, and the way she's feeling, she's feeling not lost for him. So you see Sean and Ayo talking, and they again keep going on about Mimi. So Ayo's basically saying that it's been tough around here because he thinks the way that Mimi is feeling, her feelings are not lost on him. And all I am saying is, please, I'm begging this man to leave Mimi alone, like for real. Please, the deities, gods up above, the universe, ancestors, let him concentrate on Jessica like he said he would. Please, just let him do that. Because Mimi is in a happy place and I don't want him to come along and ruin that, to be honest with you. So they ask Ciaran how he is because Ciaran's been looking mightily deflated for real throughout these couple of episodes. Like, he's been really, really quiet. And basically he's saying that he feels that everything is one-sided, that he believes that he loves Nicole more than she does him. And I think this is, as again, it's all the insecurities coming out in Ciaran, because I don't think he's ever felt like this way before about a girl, and everything is just literally just building up and building up and building up and building up, especially as they're close to coming out. So you see Jesse talking to Joey and basically saying that it's been nice that they've been getting to know each other and feels like they're getting stronger. And they feel like yesterday was a test when it came to the favourite couples and stuff. No, when it came to the kissing test. I was like, that was not a test at all. Just the wait till the test comes in the form of a bombshell. When that happens, that's when you know, that's where the test starts, my love. Because it's usually when the bombshells come in that Joey takes a slight dip and a head turn. So it's then that you have to worry about. So Joey's talking about his feelings with Jesse, and basically they're both saying that they do have some feelings for each other, but they don't feel like they're forcing it. And Jesse says she trusts Joey wholeheartedly, and I'm like, Jesse, you're gonna be eating those words, because you don't really just trust that man wholeheartedly, and the next bit throughout the episode will show that. So Jesse believes that Joey has put her first, but does he really put her first? But we'll see. So Josh basically wants Mimi for real, and then a text comes in and they're about to get a party, so it's time for some settle down time. But this villa has no chills, so I know as soon as they get a high, there's gonna come a quick low. And then I thought to myself, you know who Josh reminds me of? He actually reminds me of Burna Boy. There's some kind of look about him that reminds me of Burna Boy, because Josh is a very handsome man. I ain't gonna lie, he's a very handsome man. So a text comes in as Joey and Jesse are messing with Joey's phone because they're taking a photo, and a text comes in. Joey snatched that phone off Jesse with a quickness. She was like, the fuck? And I told you there was no rest for them at all. So Joey gets up and reads out the text that Lolly, aka Lauren, is in the hideaway and she's chosen 3 boys to date. The first boy she chose to date was Joey. The look on Jesse's face for me was Bunny Boiler 2000. That girl did not blink in the slightest. She was pissed. She was so livid she didn't blink. She did not blink. She looked like, you know, when you watch one of them thrillers and these people look at you head on and you can tell exactly what they're thinking, and they want to cause as much damage and carnage as they can on your person. That's how Jesse was looking at Joey as he was reading this text out, because Joey had his back to her. Oh yes, now this is your test. Here's your test. The kissing challenge was not a test. This is your test right now here, Nessa. Yeah. So everyone else was kind of taking the piss because they were laughing, and Jessie was rolling in ire. My girl was livid. She was telling Joey to stop smiling so much, and I was kind of like, the same way you get them ain't it the same way you lose them. She's just gonna have to try and trust in Jessie, like she said she trusted Jessie. She trusted Joey wholeheartedly, so she's gonna have to start trusting in a minute. I mean, Grace did try to warn her not to fully put her trust into that boy, but you know what? It's Jessie's prerogative. First rule in the villa is to try and protect yourself at all costs. So when these situations blow up, you ain't gonna get too livid. You ain't gonna show your jealousy too much to turn off the other person. But yeah, she was jealous to fuck, man. Oh God, the way she was looking at that man was something else. So Jessie literally stands there and watches Joey walk in. He's hoping Howie don't make an appearance on that one, let me say. So Lolly and Joey have their date. Joey, of course, as always, his big smiles, and he's actually behaving himself. Actually, he behaved himself in that date. Had to give him props. He literally, basically said where he was with Jessie. He wanted to know why Lolly had picked him, and she believed that their personalities matched and feels that Joey has gone into his shell a little bit, and Lolly thinks that there could be something missing between him and Jessie. I was like, okay, all right. You know, because she's watched the show, she's watching what's been put out there, and if that's what she's thinking, that's what she's thinking. So basically, Joey is saying that he owes Jessie the respect not to move in a way that he had with other girls. I don't hear him disputing what Lolly said in that he's kind of gone back in his shell, but Joey is one of these people where he listens and he doesn't fully react to things that people say too much. He doesn't say that he's closed or open, but Joey is saying that it would take a lot for his head to turn. And I'm like, okay, well done, Joey. Well done. He actually did do right by Jessie. So you got Jessie sitting outside believing that Joey will like the attention and believes that he won't shut it down straight away. And I thought, well, that's where you're wrong, my love, because Joey actually did well. He didn't encourage Lolly at all. And he did kind of say exactly where his situation was with Jessie. So Lolly's going to have a hard time coming in at this late stage trying to see if she can form a connection with any one of these lads that she's trying to pick at the end of the day. So you see Jessie talking to Grace, and she turned around and she was saying that Karma is a bitch and she's called Lolly. And I'm like, actually, Lolly's not a bitch. She's actually quite nice, to be honest with you. And as I said, I do think Jessie has a total mean streak in her, like absolute mean streak. So Jessie's basically saying that if she's able to take Joey, she can have him, which is true. If your man is easily taken, then they weren't your man in the first place at the end of the day. And that's what I've been saying in regards to the Mimi and AO situation. He was too easy to take, and that's why she needs to leave him for the streets where he needs to stay. So Joey is definitely saying that he's wishing to find a girlfriend to make his wife, and Lolly basically reported that she'd been single for 5 years. I'm just like, and Joey turned around after that and said, he said that, you know, well, she's come to the right place to try and find love and a lasting relationship. No, she has not. She really hasn't. The villa is not the place to find everlasting love unless you are lucky in that scenario. Yeah, unless you really are of a mindset that this is what I've come to find. It ain't just about the money. It ain't just about like trying to garner quick fame and this, that and the other, or get your freaking social media up and present in da. If you're really honestly and really well and truly looking to find love, you in that place, you will literally be able to foster that. I mean, look at India and Dami, look at Whitney and Locken. Do you know what I mean? Look at Molly May. Look at Molly May and Tommy Fury. Look at all of those ones. Yeah, they literally were going in to find somebody. They wanted to find that long-lasting connection, and they had the same mindset. Majority of these people in here right now don't have the same mindset, and that's why I don't think Ao and Jessica are gonna like last on the outside in the slightest, because Ao has a wandering eye at the end of the day. If Mimi gave it a good try with Josh, I think them two could actually make it work. Do I think Grace is going to find anybody in there? No, I honestly don't, because her standards are way too high. Like, even though it doesn't hurt to have high standards, they kind of are a little bit way too high. So then you see Jessie is still fretting about the date, and all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna have to say I'm kind of proud in the way how Joey's behaved. So Grace decides to ask how they can have a date in the hideaway. Jessie basically said that she'd never been there. So Grace ended up describing what it's like in the hideaway, which made matters worse, because I don't know why she did that for. Like, honestly, I don't know why she did that for. I think sometimes Grace is the drama. Like, she likes to start certain situations. So Lolly then wants Connor to come in. And I hope Lolly does pick Connor, because Connor is really nice, and Connor's single and like has had a hard time in the villa at the end of the day. So Joey comes out and they all want the dirt, especially Jessie. All they get, she's blonde and she's from Leicester, I think. I was like, good one, Joey. That's great information, that is. So Connor and Lolly have their date. To me, it seemed a little bit meh. It was a little bit meh. Connor got Lolly to sit on the swing. They were just chatting and having their conversations. So basically, you see in the villa itself that Connor fucks off. That Joey fucks off and goes to speak to Ao. Jessie is screwing over the fact that Joey hasn't come and talked to her and told her what's going on. Do you know what I mean? What happened and what did you talk about? Da 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 da. So she then sits there off her perch on a daybed, shouts across the villa to Joey and says, like, shall we go for a chat? I'm like, girl, you need to chill for real. Like, seriously, you're doing the mostest right about now. So it's that same thing when I was talking about in regards to Jessica. The lads don't give information like that. They really don't. When it's themselves, they will chat, yeah, but when it comes to chatting to the women, they don't release information like that. So Joey needs to go put Jessie out of her misery before she busts a blood vessel at the end of the day. So basically, as Connor leaves, she then asks for Ciaran, and I thought, why would you ask for Ciaran, my girl? That is weird. Why would you if I was Ciaran, I would refuse to go, because it ain't wherefore the aggro, if there is any aggro. Because Ciaran doesn't want to go and Nicole is kind of getting upset. But low key, I would get upset too if that was me, because there was no reason for Lolly to pick Ciaran at the end of the day. And these women need to stop coming up in here thinking I can break up a happy couple, even though they're not always happy all the time and they have their blips. But this man has literally said, I love you to this girl, and they're exclusive with each other. So what makes you think picking him is going to twist him the other way? He's twisted over Nicole at the end of the day. So what they need to really do is just leave them alone and literally stop trying to create bubbles and pockets of drama between them two when there doesn't really need to be any. So Lolly meets Ciaran, and Ciaran is kind of shocked and slightly dismayed at the same time as to why the hell she's picked him. So Ciaran is basically asking, I want to know why you've picked me, and she's going over, but she's not necessarily telling him why she's picked him directly. So he basically says that him and Nicole are good, they have officially closed things off, and that he loves her. So point blank, straight away, Ciaran's telling you what the situation is. Ciaran is letting Lolly know, you ain't coming in between this. Like, seriously, I don't know why you picked me, I don't know what you're trying to cause with it, but you ain't coming in between me and Nicole. I am not interested. So basically Ciaran was telling her that there were a lot of guys out there who will, and the girls will make her feel welcoming, and there's guys that are single out there, so all she needs to do is get a graft on with the single guys, but he's not one of them at the end of the day. So he basically was saying to her, I hope you find and manage to form a connection with someone. But you know what, he didn't say this bit, but he's literally putting a message out loud and clear, I'm not it for you. Jessie is mad like mad for Joey for speaking to the boys first. And that's the first time I have to say that in response, Joey was not jokey and said to Jessie, come on, don't start that now, please. And he said it with authority. And Ruben and Grace are sitting in the den talking to each other. So Ruben turns to Grace and said, did you hear that? And Grace went, yeah, like them two are really like having a go with each other. So Joey says he did tell Lolly about the situation with Jessie. And Lolly said to him, and this is where he mentioned to Jessie that, you know what, she believed that he had gone back in his shell. And then Jessie then turned around and says, well, that's hella disrespectful. And I'm like, actually, miss, I hide on terraces and kiss a man, so, you know, the other girl that he is coupled with don't freaking see, yeah, and laughing and giggling, yeah, is not talking about being disrespectful. I'm like, at this point, Jessie needs to wind her neck in at the end of the day. Jessie already done said that he don't fancy her. And Jessie still goes on about how she felt it was a disrespectful thing about Lolly talking about them in that situation, because at the end of the day, when she came in, she didn't, when she was getting to know him as the bombshell, she didn't really bring up his relationship with Grace and yada yada yada. I thought that, well, that's you. That is you. Don't judge everybody by your own yardstick at the end of the day. Lolly was curious about the situation between them, so this is what she said. Don't read too much into that, because at the end of the day, what she's not realising is Lolly's had the advantage of watching the damn show before she's gone in. So just like us, yeah, she's going to naturally have an assumption that, you know what, things might not be right there, because at the end of the day, she's kind of telling the truth. That Joey looked like he'd gone back into his shower. He's not the banterful and playful Joey that he was when he first went in there. Now he's someone completely different. But at the end of the day, Lolly's a bombshell. She's going to do what she's going to do. The girls are now worried that she will move mad when she comes out. But then we'll see, because the episode ends here. Because it ends on Ciaran and Lolly still having their date. And I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1K. And I'll be back across your screens very soon, my people. Be safe.